So we are on day 2 of the 17 Biblical Principle of Success. Today we'll be talking about humility, about being humble. The reason why Rudy is here is because I believe he's the perfect example of humility and humble. Many times when we do conferences, I see you that you don't even eat lunch or anything, but you're there to feed us all the information just to make sure we are actually getting our food, as in like all the trainings and everything.
Interesting.
Everyone just so humble in the office. I would say it's because of you, Rudy. So can you explain a little bit more? What is humility to you?
I never look at it as humility. So when you mention about in our conferences, so we believe in leadership. We talk about leaders eat last.
Right.
So that's good. So you look at it from the perspective of humility, right? The way we look at it is, so as you know, in our team we have our leadership team, and we always talk about within our leadership in our company, we always talk about leaders eat last. So that principle is we are here to serve others, right? So we use our team as an example. So for example, so we use Ronnie, for example, as one of our director of fund, right? So we emphasize many times that when you occupy that position as director of fund, your role is to serve others, which means that we gotta make sure that if there is a conflict between, I'm not sure if you remember a couple of weeks ago, there is 4 tickets to watch one of those NBA games, right? So in the events that there's a conflict, if there are 4 games, who's gonna go? It cannot be you. If you are the director of fund, if you are the leader in that organization, then you gotta serve others. So the mindset is we are here to serve. And I think humility, having the heart of a servant to serve, that doesn't mean subservient, right? Because I used to, long time ago, when I heard of this servant leadership, when I heard the word servant, in my mind, the connotation is like I'm subservient, meaning it's like a second-class citizens or something, right? I grew up in Indonesia, right? So the word servant it sounds like slave,
right?
Right? So versus the characters that you mentioned, we are here to serve, meaning we are here to empower you, we are here to enrich you. Do nothing out of selfish ambition, right? Do nothing out of selfish ambition rather than humility, value others above yourself. We are here to serve, right?
Got it. And I would say you actually apply that to our core values. Clients first, and we also have the be humble actually in one of the core values.
Oh yeah, the more you put others' interests first, right? And that's what it is. So we gotta remember, like, why we here? Why? What's the purpose of your life? What's the purpose of your team? What's the purpose of your business? Why you do what you do? Right? You could have gone to medical school. You could have done something like what Michelle, you chose to serve this. But why are you doing this? Right? So because in a home, there's a lot of things in a home. There's a lot of things going on in a family. So we are here. We are using the opportunity that we have to serve the family. But if we make it about us, then it's not gonna work. As you know, in real estate, when people talk about I'm the number one and stuff like that, that is against the principle of, that's the law of nature. We can, like, if you make it about you, the more you make it about you, it's not gonna work. I think Zig Ziglar once said that you can get anything in life if you help enough people to get what they want.
Right. How can you teach other people how to be more humble?
Yeah, and every day is a challenge, right? Every day as our team continue to grow, it's a challenge for you and I, right? Because the human tendency is pride, right? We tend to be like, we are so good, like so every day we have to remember again what's the why, meaning why are we doing what we do? What's the purpose of your life, right? Why are we doing this? So, but it's not easy because the tendency is the more successful you are, right? The more the team become more successful, and you, Michelle, right? You are doing very, very well as far as, and by now you know, right, as far as production, and that is becoming more challenging for you, I think, today than 12 months ago,
Right.
right? Because if 12 months ago, it's easy for people to be humble when there's
Nothing.
there's nothing. Like especially as you achieve more and more, as you becoming more and more successful in life, then we gotta be. How can we stay grounded? And I think the easiest way is just to remind ourselves that hey, this is not about me, right? So we talk about there's Warren, who is the name who write the book, Purpose Driven Life.
Rick Warren?
Rick Warren, right? What's the purpose? What's the calling of your life? Why we do what we do, right? And more important than the purpose of your life, the purpose of your business, the purpose of your team is like you guys. So in our team here, I'm so proud of what you and Linda is doing, leading this prayers team, right? And doing this video series is because it's more important than the purpose of your life is having God's presence.
Right, definitely.
Right? Because think about it, because yes, which one would you rather be? I think there's a story somewhere in the Bible, I don't know exactly which verse, but it's talking about which one you would rather be. Would you like to go out in that promised land? Right? Would you rather have the blessings or would you rather have the presence of God? Right? If there's a choice, right? So the challenge now is to bring that presence of God to our daily activity.
Right.
Right? So how can we apply this principle? So you are on a 17 biblical principle applying in daily lives, right? So the question now is how can we apply this biblical principle to our daily lives?
Right.
Right? Because we don't want to have two lives, right? We don't want this is my personal life. What else we have? Personal life, business life. Oh yeah, work life,
Yeah.
personal life, and family life, and this is my Sunday life,
Yeah.
or whatever, right? Well, there is no here in our team. We don't believe in those kind of stuff. We believe in we just call it life, right? It's called it's a integration. We just call it life. So how can we live life, be a blessing? That's why in our team we don't believe in quote unquote giving back, because giving back, the connotation is if I have to give back, that means I take away something, right? So instead of giving back, when we talk about when we are helping people, it's not giving back. It's just the reason we are here. The only thing, because when you and I know you're still, you're 22, 23, but when I was 22, 23, I don't think like dying and stuff. But more and more of my prime passed away and stuff. I was like, wait a minute, when you and I died, we cannot take away anything. The only thing that left, the legacy,
Right.
that's left, it's the people, right? So that means the question is, when we are here, the question is how many lives can we touch? So I think going back to your initial question, how can we stay humble? I think if we remind ourselves that, hey, this is just temporary, right? But the question is, as we are here, why we are here for? How many lives can we positively touch? How many souls can we touch? Why are we doing what we do? Are we just here to buy and sell homes?
No,
Right?
definitely.
Because if we are here just to sell homes, if we are here just to make a living, there's so many ways to make a living. Like we don't have to do this principle. We don't have to do all so many training. We don't have to do all this video that you are doing. We don't need to, right? And the reason we are doing what we do, we are using this as a platform to touch as many lives as we can. That's why we leverage using the media and stuff. But I think it goes back to not only the why we do what we do. What's the purpose of your life? What's the purpose of your business? What's the purpose of what's your calling in life, right? But more important than the why is the who are you serving. Be humble means humility doesn't mean I'm thinking less of myself, right? Humility doesn't mean, oh, I'm no good or I'm such a loser. That's not humility. Humility doesn't mean you are thinking less of yourself. Humility means you are thinking of yourself less. Does it make sense?
Definitely.
Right? So once you think of yourself less, then we are here to serve. Once we are here to serve, then that's going to be a game changer, not only in business, in your personal life. And this principle is not only applied in what we do, this is in life in general. Humility here, be humble, one of our core values. Number 3, we are doing this video for our team, so be humble doesn't mean you are thinking less of yourself. Be humble doesn't mean, oh yeah, you're no good and stuff. No, you are good. If you are with our team, you know nobody train more the way we do. But be humble means you're thinking of yourself less. We are here to serve. And the funny thing happened, right, Michelle? The more you put others first, the more you help other people, then whatever, then you can get literally anything you want.
Definitely. And I also talk about humility, being humble, how God sacrificed himself, Jesus sacrificed himself to go down to earth, be as a human, to serve us actually. So I think that's the number one humility example.
That's powerful, right? So we talk about, so if you want to bring the biblical principle, you touch a really good point. So a person, so for example, the history, right? So human being as a way to reach heavens, right? In the past, like it's a normal human behavior to reach to heavens. That's why there's all these people pray on trees, on stones. I remember in Indonesia we have like weapons, not weapons, like what is keris? It's like knives, not
sword.
knives, a sword, right? So people are worshipping that. It's just a way for humans. So there is an inner need in each human to reach up to heaven, because there's a separation, right? So this is heaven. So we all used to be in this the presence of God, but then when we fall of sin, right? So now there is a gap between us human and heaven.
Right.
So and then humans, we try many ways, right? We worship the trees, the stones, whatever. It's a way for us to reach up to heaven by doing good deeds, right? It could be by doing good deeds, by donating, by doing good to society.
Right.
It's a way. It's many teaching, right? Which is very common. It's a way to reach back to heaven. But you said that one of the example of humility is when God Himself, right? One from heaven manifests to become a fleshy. The person, somebody who is not known, who's not, because if we have sin, because if heaven have no sin, so the logic is this, right? If heaven has no sin, and then if there is, even if no matter how good you are, right? No matter how good you are, if there is one sin, then heaven is no longer heaven.
Right.
It's not pure, right? So how can you make a God that has no sin to bring down to heaven? That's the biggest example of humility, right? Born on earth, right? So to pay off all of that. So that is the biggest example of humility. To pay off your sins, so not because of your strength, right? Then
now there's a way to go to heaven.
So that's interesting. So I guess the question now is, how can we learn from that principle in our daily lives?
I would say try to put in other people's shoes and think how they would like to be treated, not how we like to be treated.
That's good, because now you are putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? So if we are here to serve the clients, then we are putting ourselves in that shoes,
right?
Right. So that's like you putting them, and then you're here, you're there to serve.
Right.
That's good. That's good. Communicate to other people the way they want to be communicated to.
Yes.
Right. Okay, that's good. Is there and here the last one here, the first here, what is it? Humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. Right? And maybe that's a good one, right? Humility is the fear of the Lord, because when people, if you don't believe in God, then basically, how can you be Him? Because now it's making about you. Then now you become boastful.
Right.
Right? How do you apply that in the day-to-day? As you go about your daily lives, how would you apply that?
Number one is to fear the Lord, and everything else comes naturally.